Solway, today, guys, we're going to go over the chapter 14 story, Europa and the Bull. Jupiter uses one of his standard tricks, changing his form to win the love of a beautiful girl. All right, let's just jump right in. It's probably going to be the last of these videos of the year. I hope you guys have enjoyed, or at least learned something through this process. All right, so the first sentence, the subject is Jupiter. You can tell because it's the nominative form right here. So Jupiter had seen. All right, the verb is in the pluperfect tense. Erat as a verb ending is pluperfect. Jupiter, the king of the gods, Rex Deorum. Jupiter, the king of the gods, had seen Europa. You can see the accusative ending here. Had seen Europa, the daughter of a king. All right, so Jupiter, king of the gods, had seen Europa, the daughter of a king. Okay, victus, that's a Latin 2 form. It means conquered. I don't have to go over what that is, but conquered. And then here, amore is in the ablative case. It's a third declension noun. So the E can be by, with, or from. Always tricky to do this, but conquered by his love. And eos is his. We've seen that a lot recently. Conquered by his love, he said, and then Jupiter speaks here, without this beautiful woman. All of that goes together. Sine is plus ablative. So hac, bella, and femina are all ablative. Without this beautiful woman, I will not be able to live. Okay, the verb to be able in the future tense. I will not be able to live. What will I do? All right, that's a tough verb form. It looks like a noun ending, but it's actually the beginning of the future tense for a third conjugation verb. The chart goes ameset, emeset, ascent. So what will I do? All right, so of course Jupiter falls in love with another mortal woman. She's just a regular woman, a princess. She's from Phoenicia, which is like where modern day Turkey. So on the eastern side of the Mediterranean. All right, so without this beautiful woman, I will not be able to live. What will I do? This is a continuation of what he's saying. He says, this maiden, if I will overcome her, and then V here, I told you it was ablative from force, so you could say with force. So if I will overcome her with force, she will not love me. Okay, fair enough. And Juno, my wife, if she will find out about this, hoc is just a neuter accusative form from the Hittite hoc. So if she will discover this, or if she will find out about this, she will punish me. She will punish me. And she, you have to assume out of the he, she, it ending. So, and Juno, my wife, if she will find out about this, she will punish me. Okay. Classic Jupiter. All right. Therefore, you can start with that. Now, arte, also in the ablative case, it's third declension. Therefore, with skill. The verb ends in O, so that's the first verb form you ever learned this year. I ought. Therefore, with skill, I ought to lead Europa to me. So therefore, with skill, I ought to lead Europa to me. Jupiter. I should have put. I'm going to fix this right now. I should put a quote to end that. That's the end of Jupiter speaking. All right. So anyway, Jupiter gave himself. Sibi was like a reflexive chart that I added to the end of, I think, chapter 13's vocab list. Sibi is dative, literally to himself. So therefore, Jupiter gave to himself the form of a bull. All right, the form of a bull. Taurus is a Latin word for bull. So therefore Jupiter gave, you could just say gave himself the form of a bull. Dedi is in the perfect tense. Dedi is the third principal part from do, dari, dedi. And that's why you study principal parts. Therefore Jupiter gave himself the form of a bull. With speed, and there's no nominative subject here, so the subject's in the verb, he, she, it. So with speed, he ran. It's from the verb to run. Therefore, I'm sorry, with speed, he ran from his temple, or out of his temple in the clouds to the land. Okay, so with speed, he ran out of his temple in the clouds to the land. Europa, subject here. Europa had wandered, it's pluperfect. Europa had wandered or had been wandering with her friends, suis, her own friends. You could just say her friends. Europa had been wandering with her friends in distant places or in remote locations. Actually, into remote locations, because this is a neuter accusative form. So Europa had been wandering with her friends into remote locations or remote places. To these, and it's left off here, so you could say to these. It's referring, the A here should jump out to you as feminine, so it's referring to Europa and her friends. So like you could say to these women, that great bull or that large bull came. These are all nominative forms. They all go together. So to these women, that large bull came. Classic mythology story here. The other girls is subject, nominative here. The other girls fled. It's the perfect tense from the verb to flee. Only Europa, or Europa alone, only Europa, for she had always loved animals. The subject is in the verb, he, she, it. It's in the pluperfect, had, for she had always loved animals. So only Europa, for she had always loved animals, remained with the bull. So I guess Jupiter knew that she was big into animals, and that's why he chose to appear as a bull. Okay. Europa is the subject, all the way back here. You can tell it's just got the A ending. So Europa tenuit. There's your verb, held. Europa held his neck, and it's the accusative neuter form. Europa held his neck with her arms. All right, the is ending is ablative plural, so you can put a with in, with her arms. Europa held his neck with her arms. Without delay, I've seen that a bunch this year. Elay, you could say that man, that would be more literal, but you could also just say he for Elay. So without delay, he dragged her. X is always a dead giveaway that you're dealing with a third principal part, the perfect tense. So without delay, he dragged her transmare, across the sea. All right, so she was from Turkey. He takes her over to Greece, which is where like Mount Olympus is and the gods live. And some people think that that's why that area of the world is called Europe. It's named after this woman that was taken from Turkey to the direction of the west, and everything west of Turkey is basically Europe. So without delay, he dragged her across the sea. All right. Speed it up here. It's going on a little too long here. All right. So Europa sensed the danger, and she shouted. Whoops. And she shouted, "Help me." It's the command form. It's just the val, singular. Help me. Jupiter said, beautiful woman, no evil thoughts, all that goes together, all have the same ending, nominative, plural. No evil thoughts are in my mind. Not a bull, but a god I am. Okay, sorry, so you could say I am not a bull, but a god. Not death. Did I put death in here? I probably should have. Not death, but fame and glory will come to you. That's the future tense that just has the eval. Not death, but fame and glory will come to you. For your name, great poets. If you remember, poet's masculine. That's why the I ending is used to modify it. That's a masculine adjective ending. For your name, great poets will join. That's the same future tense for third and fourth conjugation. For your name, great poets will join with mine. So, I mean, she gets abducted by, that's the end of the story. She gets abducted by Jupiter in the form of a bull. And he's like, don't worry about it. You're going to be famous because of this story that people will tell. It's hardly a consolation prize, but there's some pretty classic Renaissance artwork depicting this. And if you're a fan of astrology, Jupiter, obviously one of the planets in our solar system, all the moons of Jupiter are named after people he was associated with. So Europa is a moon of Jupiter, and a lot of people think that Europa is most likely to have life. One of the most likely bodies in our solar system to have life because it has like an ice surface, and people think that underneath the ice could be living organisms, right? Like an underwater ecosystem thing. So that's Europa. Okay, learned a lot here. Hope you guys are well, and have this assignment and more story to do, and that'll be it. So, and we're gonna try to have a Zoom meeting to all say goodbye and all that this week. All right, miss you guys. Hope you're all well. Take care.